Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, marks and smarks alike, we proudly welcome you to the internet's only wrestling podcast. That's right, we are the only one. We want to welcome you to Pin the Champ!
All right, up next we get Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan, and they're talking about the Big Boss Man versus Mr. Perfect. Since Heenan manages Hennig at this time, Heenan's, cutting a promo on that big dumb hick from Cobb County, Georgia, Big Boss Man. So after that, we go to the back. We get Regis Philbin. He's with The Undertaker and Paul Bearer. This is the famous promo where Undertaker measures Regis Philbin for his casket size.
Oh, which this episode, man, Regis also would have been another good pick for the third Raw host, to be honest. I loved having both Regis and Trebek hosting. This thing was pretty fantastic.
I mean,
Trebek was fun.
I think Regis would have honestly been too hard of a get for every episode.
Oh, you can't afford him.
He's a super big wrestling fan. Like, they would always have. I remember whenever I was like have a sick day, in elementary school, I'd be at my grandma's house. And we would watch like Regis and Kathy Lee and like Price is Right and all that kind of good shit. But occasionally on Regis and Kathy Lee, you would catch like a wrestler. They'd be like, he'd have like The Undertaker on, or I think he had like Diesel and Shawn on at one point. Diesel.
He used to have everybody. Yeah,
they were. But Regis was a big wrestling fan. Like he was
from back in the day. He probably went and saw like all the old matches back in like, because he went to the University of like Notre Dame, so he's from like I think the Chicago area.
Oh, okay.
Plus, he could afford tickets, man.
Yeah, for sure.
If there's someone that could afford to see whatever he wanted,
he got those shits comped.
Oh yeah.
Next, Alex Trebek is with Demolition, Crush, Smash, and Mr. Fuji. Alex tries to compare wrestling to answering questions on Jeopardy. We get back to Alex Trebek, who's with Tenryu and Katao. What follows after that is a pure example of how 90s WWF was racially tone deaf, and I'm not going to glorify any of the tasteless stuff, like the jokes that were being said during this interview.
Yeah.
They portray Tenryu and Katao kind of as people who can't really respond to Regis at all. That's unfortunate. The only good part of this that I thought had any like humor to it was when they mistook Regis for Kathy Lee Gifford. That's pretty much it,
Yeah, I think that like the both Tenryu and Katao were incredibly patient.
Yeah.
With they played into they participated in the bit,
right?
Regardless of how dumb or like they did their part. And I think that speaks more volumes for them than it does for the poor writing. Like the fact that they were, a lot of the wrestlers from Japan are always just consummate workers. They are just guys who are dependable, who come and do their job and give you 100% when they come. And like, obviously that's not, they're not a monolith. Not everybody's like that, but generally that's like the impression that you get from Japanese workers in America is they always come with their fucking boots on, ready to work.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Next up after that is Trebek again, and he's got Damien and Jake the Snake with him. He's interviewing Damien and Jake. Damien is supposedly, according to Jake the Snake Roberts, asking to be a contestant on Jeopardy. Of course, Trebek quickly lets us know that he doesn't really dig snakes, just like Sawyer song. So, just like Sawyer song,
he is the smartest man alive.
Yeah.
He is a wealth of knowledge.
He's like,
if anyone knows what snakes can do, it's Alex Trebek.
What is? I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
No, thank you, Mr. Snake.
Ooh, I'm in double jeopardy.
But I guess the only like silver lining to like all that bullshit Reddick earlier is that Tenryu and Kitao, when they face Demolition, they end up winning the match. One thing I forgot about Demolition's Freddy Krueger like entrance music that they had that short time. It was originally like a very metal rock and roll type entrance they had back in the day, but during this time they had almost like a spooky like Freddy Krueger Mankind-esque kind of entrance music.
Oh, nice.
Hitting
that synth.
I did pop when Heenan called Kitao hand towel. I couldn't help but think that was funny. I was like, he said hand towel instead of Kitao. Because that's just mispronouncing your name.
Yeah, well, everyone's got to have a gimmick. Yeah, I guess you're the hand towel.
Towel.
Can I be a bath towel at least?
Mr. Fuji, he hits Kitao with a cane early in the match. The match pretty much, in my opinion, you guys can let me know what you think, but it's kind of a typical Demolition double axe handle fest.
I was going to say typical Demolition match, like the.
Yeah, it was Tenryu pin smash after a difficult power bomb. He had a hard time getting that. Tenryu is not small, and he had a hard time getting him up into that power bomb. According to Sportskita, this match would take place shortly before Demolition split up. This actually being their last televised match. Of course, this wasn't even Axe and Smash here. This was Crush, because Axe had left in 1990 at this point. So.
Crush bra,
shaka bra. Next up is Mean Gene interviewing the Big Boss Man. We're getting ready to see the Intercontinental Belt put up for grabs. He's mad at Mr. Perfect for hurting his mama's feelings.
It's an unforgivable crime. I'll be honest.
it's a reason for an angle.
Yeah.
It is easy to forget what a good promo Ray Trailer Big Boss Man was, right? He was a really good promo. Really good in-ring worker too, and we'll talk about that a little bit later during the match. But just all around, you kind of forget that he was a good promo too.
He's scary, man. He's huge. he's a force.
He is.
I wouldn't want to be under those fucking boots. Like, come on.
And then after the promo by Boss Man, they went over to Sean Mooney, who was with Mr. Perfect and Heenan. At this point, Heenan makes a reference to what I believe was the Rodney King incident, and Mr. Perfect doubles down on the rhetoric. The Rodney King incident happened on March 3rd, 1991, and WrestleMania was March 24th. So I think it was fresh on minds at that point. But yeah.
Yeah, I was a huge mark for face Big Boss Man, despite my feelings for law enforcement and prison guards. I think that I really like Big Boss Man.
Yeah.
And
well, you've said it. You've gone on record. You're like, if there's a big guy who's doing the damn thing, that's going to be your guy.
That's my guy, and he could talk. I love a big man who can talk. That is my bread and butter.
It's a problem with big guys. They can't talk.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, like, I love the way that Braun Strowman looks, but and he's, Adam in real life seems like a really cool dude.
Yeah. Look, everyone knows Andre the Giant was known for his diction.
How are you, lady? Anybody want a peanut?
Really good impressions.
Bet you wouldn't say that if he was alive.
I would not, because it depends. If we're talking like 1970s Andre, absolutely not. If we're talking like 87 Andre when he can barely
walk briskly.
I wouldn't say it, because like then I'd have to deal with like one or two of the like handlers that he has around him who are like would beat this. Like if they weren't big dudes, one of them would is like a Frenchman with a lead pipe in his jacket. He would just beat the crap out of me.
What was that wrestler Pierre, the one-eyed guy? It was him.
Yeah, Pierre.
Now I'm just imagining the Princess Bride, but they're all roided up. Like, it's just literally his trio, where one looks like Dreaded Pirate Roberts,
like
and the other's Inigo Montoya.
Brother, like you killed my father.
Like it's
you killed my father, brother.
That's falling down the hill.
Oh, brother.
Oh my! It would be Andre, Hulk, and Macho.
Yeah.
There's a fantasy booking for you.
Yeah, this match.
Oh, well,
was
now,
successful.
now I think we know our next reading that we have to do.
Oh, I'm down. We'll prepare that. Oh, you guys want to put it together? Do a script, Princess Bride with Macho Man Hulk and Andre the Giant.
You seem a good man. I hate to kill you.
So Mr. Perfect versus Big Boss Man. Boss Man really could. We mentioned it before. He could really move for a big man, and the match was good because you had the selling of Mr. Perfect, and you had the speed of the Big Boss Man. So it was a good combination. I love the spot where Boss Man shoves Perfect's head into the corner turnbuckle. You could see Perfect jump on both bottom ropes so that he got like maximum height on his flip after he took that turnbuckle shot to the face. So.
Yeah.
Great match. Oh yeah. No, I also.
Sorry, I was listening to you, and then all of a sudden, I was like, "Oh no,
we
it's
were
on
kind
me."
of just like keep going.
Yeah.
I was enjoying what you were saying, and then it's like, "Oh no, me too."
Yeah.
Also, Boss Man's song is a banger.
Hard Time? No.
Hard Time.
Let's look it up.
Everybody's doing Hard Times or something like that.
Yeah, like that song is just a banger. Like
Andre,
it's a good one.
Kind of harkens back to Dusty a little bit there too. Hard times, Daddy.
That does, yeah.
That's true. I wonder if there's any relation there.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, Dusty did start Ray Traylor. He put Ray Traylor with the Midnight Express as Big Bubba Rogers. He created Big Bubba Rogers.
That's true.
Big Bubba Rogers debuted against Dusty Rhodes, so it would not be unheard of for him to pay a little homage. But it
Know your
it's
roots.
just-
I mean, yeah.
I did not know that he
Yeah.
did against Dusty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dusty. I mean, that was when Dusty's doing his matches in, I think it was Mid-South against the Midnight, and they were, so Jim Cornette's mom sent down, a bodyguard for him because his wrestlers were getting beat up by mean old Magnum TA and by Dusty Rhodes and all, and they sent down Big Bubba Rogers. And there's a great story about how Bubba got hit with a chair, and we're talking like one of those old wood based folding chairs. You know what I'm talking about? The steel and wood.
Mm-hmm.
And Cornette, tells one of the ring guys to gimmick up the chair, make it so it'll break.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe it's Thunderbolt Ross. It's somebody. That's a comic book
Yeah.
character.
I think it was General Thunderbolt Ross. Sergeant Slaughter served.
Slaughter,
under him, if I'm not
it was
mistaken.
it was Cobra Commander who
This where it all blurs together. You're like, he should. I still think he should have gone with the Cell Block Tango as his entrance.
so they forget to gimmick up the chair.
Yeah.
And Dusty hits him with it over the head, or someone hits him with it, and it legitimately breaks over his head.
Oh wow!
And he's just standing there, like wearing it like a necklace. And
I
you're
think
just like,
there's footage of that, right?
There has to be.
I feel like I've seen that shot. So one thing that I totally forgot was that Andre comes out during this match. At this point, he's not at a good stage. He's like pretty much walking on crutches almost. Yeah. He had just turned face, I believe, and he's coming out and he's threatening Bobby Heenan. Andre grabs the Intercontinental title, which looks like a tiny little replica in his hand. So, and Perfect is distracted by all this, of course. And Andre, he tags Perfect with the belt when the ref isn't looking. Unfortunately, Boss Man cannot capitalize on this because he's still hurt. By the time he actually gets over to pin Mr. Perfect, he just gets a 2 count. So now the match ends when Haku and Barbarian come out and they actually attack Boss Man. I kind of forgot about the ending of this match, but I remember, as soon as it happened, I kind of remembered it, how unsatisfying it was.
Yeah.
The match in that way. Andre beats up all the heels, and outside the Boss Man wins by a DQ. Of course, that means Perfect keeps his belt.
Yeah, kind of lame ending. Cool
was.
middle. Cool beginning, middle, lame end.
Yeah.
It's kind of odd that they had him celebrated like he won something when he won by DQ.
Yeah, they
Like,
play their
when you get
music
the
anyway. Like they've.
The
Yeah,
Fed
play
does
the
that
music.
all the time. That was big back
yeah.
then.
I mean, they do that now still. They play the music of the guy, but they're never happy because they didn't get the title. But Boss Man was acting like he did win the title,
Like
and then
really won something.
yeah, and then he, like the ending where like Andre was just walking away. I don't know what that was all about.
Yeah.
And then he went and followed him, and then they celebrated together.
That is what makes him a good heel, though. If he's just kind of taking that
ending. Yeah.
that credit for it, where it's just like, I earned this. It's like, all right, whatever.
So did you guys notice, speaking of the ending, where Andre was talking to Boss Man, and you couldn't hear what they were saying? He was kind of like talking
Yeah.
to him. I was kind of wondering what he was saying there. I don't know. Wrong answers only, please.
Anybody want a peanut, Boss Man?
Yeah.
Honestly, that's
flawless.
yeah.
They're flawless.
So also during this match, why didn't Mr. Perfect get disqualified for wrapping his hand with a belt and punching Boss Man?
Oh, he hit it. Remember? He hit it.
Did he hit it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's another. That's another thing that was, like that's Mr. Perfect professional.
Okay.
So he hit him with it, and then
things.
then he hit it, and then like when he went looking again is when he brought it up again. Then he just threw the belt away.
Next, we cut to the original Four Horsemen: Donald Trump, Chuck Norris, Henry Winkler, and Lou Ferrigno.
Again, I love these wonderfully dated.
That's the
sightings.
correct answer.
Yeah, man, that's like that is. I mean, God,
If
if Donald Trump wasn't on that, I would be perfectly fine with it.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, oh, what a weird group of guys.
Yeah. Were they heading over to that island after the WrestleMania was over with?
Epstein's Island?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Steinbrenner was also there too, apparently. Which, if you really want to get like dated at all, I don't know if he's played by Larry David or not, but
Yeah, Chuck Norris was name dropping. He was saying like he was a fan of Hogan, Gorgeous George, and Tanaka was in a movie with him. Henry Winkler said he was glad the Ultimate Warrior won, and Lou Ferrigno seemed legitimately overly excited about Hulkamania, like the Hulkster later. I don't know. He was really excited.
Bob Costas was apparently supposed to show up too.
Oh yeah, I did hear something about that, but he like ended up not doing it.
Yeah.
So, Chuck Norris, do you think if it were the Federation of today, do you think and Chuck Norris was the age he was then? So like, what I would call
like 30s,
like late prime Chuck Norris. Like we're not quite into the Walker years.
Mm-hmm.
So like I would still say he's probably pretty fucking tough.
Yeah, he was doing like silly action movies at that point.
Yeah, like sidekicks.
Yeah, but like,
do you think they would try to get him like kind of like how they did with Stephen Amell, or is it Jason Amell?
Why not? Yeah.
Which Amell?
Stephen Amell. I know what you're talking about.
It's
where they
Stephen,
brought Arrow on. That was
Arrow,
so fantastic.
I would be surprised if Chuck Norris at that time wasn't at least approached, because if you're gonna bring, he's gonna be in the building and him and Trump are all buddies with Vince and everything. You've got to imagine at least something got said like, "Hey, let me know if you ever want to do anything."
Goddamn, pal, you wanna throw a kick at Dino Bravo?
Exactly.
I was gonna say, at what point too did they start having like celebrity bumps? Because I know they always do a thing where they'll do like a fake celebrity setup.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I'll have to look that up. Yeah, I'll have to look that up.
We'll do our own homework on it and come back.
You
next
brought up
meeting.
Stephen Amell. He actually has a show on
about
Star
wrestling
now. Yeah, it's just about wrestling called Heels. Check it out.
Yeah.
I love Stephen Amell. I think he's the only reason I stuck with that. Those CW shows so long is because he's awesome.
Well, they picked the right actor to kind of spark that universe for him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And his brother's not far behind him too. Like he is definitely like, they've got that. They're doing that whole like, what's it? The Chris Liam, the Hemsworths or whatever. Where it's like, I'm here too.
Have you guys seen any of those episodes yet, Song?
No, not yet. He was promoting it on a podcast I was listening to with Michael Rosenbaum.
I gotcha.
Is Michael Rosenbaum a wrestling fan too? I'd believe it.
No.
Okay.
But he had some wrestling on his show though. He had Batista on there. I think he had Triple H on there at one point. So
Nice.
we're checking out.
I love Michael Rosenbaum, man.
But we're not promoting other people's podcasts. So
No, man.
let's just delete all that.
But if they want to come on our podcast,
Yeah, there you go.
We can cross
Stephen
promote.
Amell,
We'll cross-promote,
you know?
So next match was Earthquake versus Greg the Hammer Valentine. So this is basically a time filler match.
Yes, take Greg.
Yeah. Oh, did you see the? Yeah, I watched the video too. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Oh, Greg Valentine is just the
bah humbug.
Oh God, like he just looks like the most miserable piece of shit in the world. Like,
yeah, Earthquake defeats Valentine with the Avalanche pinfall. Greg the Hammer Valentine, he left WWE shortly after this match and eventually landed in WCW. I actually watched a YouTube video where Hammer says he didn't mind jobbing to Earthquake, but that they originally gave this match 4 minutes, and he says he got really pissed off about this. He says basically he raised hell to get 7 or 8 minutes, but he was still pissed off, and he decided to leave for WCW. Yeah, he says he quit because of that.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't be on his side in that one?
The thing is if you give Greg Valentine 7 or 8 minutes, 5 of those 7 or 8 minutes are going to be rest holds. He's garbage.
Yeah.
He's not garbage, but he's like he's not good.
Me. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It seemed like they were kind of more willing to work with him on it, or now.
But I will say this: I do believe that Greg Valentine could, in real life, beat up the Nasty Boys.
Oh yeah, definitely.
This is going to be a new game that I play called "Who Could in Real Life Beat Up the Nasty Boys?"
Yeah, nasty or nah, brah.
I think this speaks to the general ego of the professional wrestlers, right? We have like Greg Valentine. He's a tag team mid-card guy, but yet he's like, I can't believe they won't give me more time on Mania. It's like, come on, dude.
Well, because in Greg's mind, he's like, he's still got the Pacific Northwest kind of in his mind. He's like, this is
He's got the dog collar
Hammer
matches.
Valentine, baby.
Yeah, he's remembering the dog collar matches he had.
The matches with Ricky Garvin.
Next up, we get Sean Mooney with the Legion of Doom, and they cut a super cheesy promo on Power and Glory. It was like horrible. It was like the worst Legion of Doom promo ever. But we get Legion of Doom versus Power and Glory, Paul Roma and Hercules. Another squash match to add to the pile. Early on, Power and Glory attack Legion of Doom before the bell, but very soon Animal pins Paul Roma after a Doomsday device. LOD finished the match by posing and make the "We want the belt" gesture, so you know that they're going to be gunning for the Nasty Boys soon, right?
Right.
I absolutely believe that the Legion of Doom Road Warriors could beat up the Nasty Boys in real life.
You don't say.
Yeah. No, I know. Well, when that came up, I was just like, oh, man.
The best is like he has to, right?
Like, could you imagine Brian Knobbs trying to fight off Hulk or Animal?
Yeah. Who was your favorite Road Warrior?
Animal.
Okay. Song? No, just...
Yeah, Animal also.
Animal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sawyer?
Do you have a...
I, too, am a devout Animal fan.
Yeah, I like the Hawk, man, but, you know...
Did you?
I don't know what it is about Animal. He looked more... maybe it was the full face beard.
Yeah. I mean, I love them both. But...
Or the goatee, rather. Like, he just looked more approachable.
Approachable? Yeah. Neither of them look very approachable.
No, neither of them. Where do we fall as a podcast on calling them LOD versus Road Warriors?
I mean, I'm going to refer to them a Legion of Doom because that's who they were at WrestleMania 7. But you know, interchangeably, I might accidentally say Road Warriors because that's who they were originally. You know?
Yeah. maybe I've just not seen enough of their matches, like maybe the good old matches of like Road Warriors in Chicago versus Luger and Sting or shit like that.
Chi-Town.
Yeah, like the Rumble and Chi-Town and all that kind of shit. Maybe that's the problem. I do not like them in the Fed. They are not.
No, they're terrible in the Federation.
Like, I just don't enjoy them. I don't think they fit.
Well, don't you think
they're too tough?
Too much similar to Demolition, and Demolition was WWF's creation, and Vince is always going to push that above the guy from the other place that came from the other place. And even though
Demolition was a copy of the LOD, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, depending on who you ask, yes, but
I was going to say, depending if you ask, what's the no, if you ask what's his face from Demolition, not Barry Darsow, but the other one, Axe.
Yeah.
If you like, I know he was like, he would claim that they were not a copy of anything. Like I've watched shoots of him being like, we weren't a fucking copy of anything.
Right.
I thought the Demolition was kind of like the Deadpool to a DC Slade Wilson.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of people still feel that way, you know. I mean, of course, if you're in the tag team that's being called the copy, you're probably going to be like, "Nah, we weren't the copy."
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
they should just call him. They should just name him the copy.
Yeah.
Copy.
Wow, you going on? Yeah.
Oh man, I didn't realize that Animal had only passed away not that long ago. He's only about it was just about. 3
months. Animal was
not even
Hawk died first.
Yeah,
Hawk died.
Man, that's crazy.
They tried to bring him back in early. They brought LOD back in like the 2000 with was it Animal and Heidenreich or something like that.
Heidenreich.
Oh my God, that was such a shitty move.
I wasn't watching at that time.
He didn't take an Animal nickname? That seems very odd.
Yeah. Oh, man. It was just bad.
Well, Animal's not really an animal nickname.
Yeah,
it's just the word
animal. Genre.
But it's still not going by your name. Like that's like Wolverine and Jean Grey. At least.
All right, Greg, come on. It's you and me. We've got to pick nicknames for our
creative animal
themes. Yeah. I'm going to be called Hawk. What are you going to be called?
I'm Animal.
Animal? Well, you can't be all the animals.
Well, no, you can't. You can't just be Animal. Like,
well, I want to be all of them. I can't pick just one.
I am Animal.
But if I'm Hawk, which is an animal,
I'll just go by my name. How about that?
Wow, guys!
No one's going to believe Henry Higgins and Hawk are the two.
I think we've dedicated way too much time to a match that was under a minute.
Good point. So after that, we cut a video package of $1 Million Man mistreating Virgil the bodyguard, and it shows DiBiase and Virgil's story of their falling out. You know, Virgil was the longtime bodyguard of Ted DiBiase, so this was another major thing that kind of played out through. Well, you know, I think when we were kids, as one of those like kind of feuds that you remember because it was such a slow burn. So it all comes to a head here at Mania 7 with Virgil versus Ted DiBiase. Part of it that I had forgotten was the fact that Roddy Piper was involved. He's on crutches, but
trained Virgil.
Right. Oh yeah, he did train Virgil. That's right, and he's in Virgil's corner despite the crutches. So I had a thought. I was like, is him training Virgil supposed to make up for him doing half blackface during Bad News?
Absolutely, it was.
It feels like.
And here's so I just actually watched a big retrospective on Roddy Piper in WCW and like his battle with the NWO, and there's a great scene. It's a great promo where that's the actor in me. The actor.
It is a scene.
There's a great promo where
they're doing their little skits.
he's talking shit to the NWO, and Virgil's there as Vincent, and he's like, he kind of like steps up to him and he says, "Get out of my way! I trained you, and don't think I can't kick your butt," or something like that. And I was just like, "Oh, that's cool." He brought it over.
It. Yeah, that is awesome. So at one point,
a fucking simple mark at some points. Like,
no, dude, but I mean that's actually cool that when they reference something that far and Not only that far, but cross
promotion.
Yeah, cross promotion. Yeah. That's something. So at one point, DiBiase attacks Roddy, pushes him over. Later, Piper pulls the rope down because of this, which causes DiBiase to spill to the outside. DiBiase gets counted out while fighting with Piper, so Virgil gets the count out win here. DiBiase attacks Virgil after the match and straps on that $1 Million Dream. DiBiase and Sherry also attack the wounded Piper. After that attack, Virgil urges Piper to do the same thing that Piper told him to do, which is to get up. Virgil helps Piper up, and for some reason, we get Piper's music to end the segment. Yeah,
because Virgil didn't have a song.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yep. Just gonna go out and say every single one of those persons could have beaten up the Nasty Boys in real life.
$1 Million Man, Piper,
Virgil,
Sherry, absolutely.
She
can get it.
Yeah, Sherry can absolutely get it.
I forgot you have a crush on her.
Oh, I absolutely. Oh God, like the Sensational Sherry is like incredible because like her promos aren't always great, but like she always puts like once again she wears her working boots every single time.
I think she legit scared me, dude. Like I was.
As a child, she certainly scares me, but as an adult, not at all. She can get it.
I now know what that fear was.
I forgot that Virgil's gimmick was a boxer.
Yes, it was. The whole thing was like. I mean, I don't know. They could have done Virgil better.
Yeah, he had boxers shorts on and everything. I didn't realize Virgil appeared as Soul Train Jones in AEW, though, according to his Wikipedia.
Oh, what?
Well, yeah, I didn't know
that character sounds fantastic.
I got to look that up and see that appearance.
Virgil is notorious for like showing up places with like, you know, the Ted DiBiase and Virgil sign, and then it's just Virgil. And getting people to pay for autographs and stuff like that. Yeah. So he's kind of a grifter. So who can say, man?
Yeah, he's a little bit of everywhere.
It's great. He just kind of rolls with just basically kind of like a boxing coach kind of vibe.
Yeah,
like it's just pretty simple.
Like boxing high school coach. Yeah,
yeah. Like I mean, it's and he's kind of got this like Sugar Ray thing about him. It's kind of nice. Like it's just like a dude who's just like, yeah, I'm old, but I can kick your ass.
Another place that Virgil showed up.
Yeah, I can kick your ass, Brian Knobs.
Yeah, Nasty Boys, watch out.
Yeah, another place Virgil showed up, right?
Where?
Number 74 in the PWI Top 592. I was surprised at that. I was like, you were number 74? You broke the top 100 wrestlers in 92.
Wow.
Yeah. I guess
how many wrestlers were there in 92?
500 at least.
How many of them do you think we could name?
Off the top of my head, probably a lot, but maybe like 100.
I mean, he made that list because he's in the WWF at the time too. You know, like the smaller promotion probably had guys that make that list.
Yeah,
that might be why he made. But yeah, 74 is pretty damn good.
I wanna see some sort of video of songs singing the list to the Animaniacs like country song.
Name the
state. Sawyer just sent a picture of Virgil to us in like Uncle Sam garb. I think it's the same thing Hacksaw was wearing, probably.
Yeah. He wears it a little bit better, I'm gonna say that.
Yeah, definitely. So I'll take Virgil over Hacksaw.
I think he's going for the Apollo look, right? From
Apollo Creed.
Apollo Creed.
Yeah, man. Dude, that's dope. That's killing it.
Yeah. So after Virgil and DiBiase.
Real quick, about this picture, we can maybe link it in our Facebook.
Yeah.
Virgil's bulge. Yo.
Look, what do you think? What do you think the Soul Train is?
Yo. It's like. I don't know, man. He's got it either folded in an interesting way. I'm just saying, we'll post it. Please tell us your opinions because I don't know. Maybe it's digitally
on
enhanced.
Soul Train Jones's bulge,
I say it's like a
everyone.
fruit roll-up.
Yeah. It looks like he's got like an L stuffed down his pants.
A capital L.
Yeah, a capital
It
L.
hangs around, so he might even have it wrapped all the way around. There's
Yeah,
no real
it's holding up
break
his
in
pants.
the shorts.
Next, let's get this back on the rails.
Yeah.
No,
It's
we'll
gone
go
off the
on
rails
Soul
a long
Train
time
Jones'
ago.
penis.
We will post this picture and ask your opinion because I want to know the Pinhead's opinion on this.
Next, we go to Sean Mooney, who introduces a Slaughter and Hulk Hogan video package. They show Slaughter. He's burning the Hulk T-shirt. I don't know why in my memory I remember it as the American flag he was burning, but I guess
It might as well have been at that time.
Might as well have been at that time.
Pledge allegiance to Hulkamania,
right.
brother.
Yeah.
We get a Slaughter promo. We get the classic Pukamaniacs promo that Slaughter ended up being so known for. To me, dude, Slaughter was probably the most hated heel in a long while, if not ever. And that's really saying something. You know what I'm saying? Like there's, Slaughter may not have looked like $1 million necessarily. He's not like your chiseled bad guy heel that look, or he's not even like huge, like just overpowering but out of shape. He's just like a great heel gimmick. He's a great talker, and he can make anything work that he's thrown his way. I mean, he really, to me, this is his like best work probably. I mean, how do you take somebody being like, all right, you got to pretend like during this Gulf War that's actually happening that you sympathize with the guy that that we're sending our real life troops over to.
I thought it was a bold take for the time. Like
right.
I can't imagine it. Today, I think you could probably get away with it a lot more. Like I don't think it would cause as much of a stir as it seemed to have at the time.
Today, they'd probably try to use somebody like Mustafa Ali, though, because they are stupid racist when it comes to Middle Eastern storylines.
Yeah.
So they've done that with, what's that one guy that they brought up for a little bit? They had him feud with the Undertaker, and they made him like
Tiger Ali Singh.
Was that who it was? Yeah, it was bad. They did a whole. It was
like it was a bad gimmick.
Yeah, it's not something they should touch, but they did.
I know, like I said, I've heard stories about Slaughter's family getting death threats over this, even though it might not have caused the change in venue.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, that's how serious this whole gimmick was. And it was huge when we were kids. I mean, I even realized at that time, this is risky for them to be kind of playing this kind of role here. I think it's also important to say that during this promo, Slaughter actually threatens to get disqualified or counted out and he mentions like, hey, I'll do this on purpose. That's what kind of heel I am. You might win the battle, but I'll win the war because I'll still have the title. So just all in all, you got that promo calling all the Hogan fans Pukamaniacs. He's threatening to get DQ'd on purpose. So it gets us nice and amped up for the main event, I think. After this, we get the Mountie versus Tito Santana. Hey, to you guys, during the Mountie versus Tito Santana match, did Tito Santana seem kind of out of place at the time? I felt like it should have been El Matador by that point, but it was right after that, I think.
Yeah.
But I do remember thinking, chronologically, wow, the Mountie's around, El Matador should be around, right? But it's not so. Right here,
getting into the new gen gimmick.
So we got the Mountie versus old school Tito Santana, and Mountie wins this quickly after he hits Santana with a cattle prod while the ref wasn't looking. And I kind of looked this up because I was feeling that way about El Matador. And supposedly after this, Santana actually leaves for a while. He's going over to International World Class Championship Wrestling to feud with Tony Atlas. So that's where he goes before he comes back as El Matador.
Kayfabe wise, he's learning how to bullfight.
Hey, that's true. Yep.
Also, real quick, I want to
needs-
correct what I said earlier. I said it was Tiger Ali Singh. It was Muhammad Hassan.
That's
okay.
right. Yeah.
That's right.
I remember that whole angle. It was just bad.
Gotcha. So after the Mountie versus Tito Santana, which is basically another squash match, I feel like there was like 3 or 4 of them leading up to the main event. Next is Mean Gene. We get the Hulk Hogan promo. This is the Hulkster promo, which is like, again, patriotic. They showed the actual clip of Hulkster being attacked by Slaughter and General Adnan. He's got him in the camel clutch with the Iraqi flag. This this promo by Hulkster was great. The way he kind of worked in like the national anthem and just the American national anthem in his promo, saying Slaughter's going to be a victim of Twilight/Gleaming. I thought that was really poetic of Hogan.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, Hogan.
He's a gentle soul.
He likes to take long, thought-provoking strolls down the dock while he's contemplating life.
Look, when he's strutting and cutting, when he's hanging and banging, sometimes he likes to listen to poetry.
That's right. We finally get to our main event of WrestleMania 7. America.
I feel like we need some sort of like fanfare or something, like to get to the match 14.
Yeah.
It does feel like the Homer Simpsons. How many grades does this school have?
I know. That's a lot of matches on a card.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's a lot to cover. I mean, it's all still pretty interesting. But again, WWE, they're like, we could have 30 matches. And you're like, look, man, I don't want to miss
this. Is when it started. This is when it started. I mean, WrestleManias have always been traditionally longer, but this is absolutely when it started.
Yeah.
I'm sure housewives everywhere were thrilled.
Yeah. So we get the very heart of the country on the line against Sergeant Slaughter, right? Hogan's like Uncle Sam, Baby Jesus. Who else? What other famous heroes can he embody?
American apple pie.
He's all
baseball,
of that.
yeah.
Baseball.
He's all of that rolled into
all that, yeah.
Red and yellow.
Hot dogs.
Yep. And
well, he's known for hot dogging.
And fireworks and
so they announced the first celebrity co-host.
Imperialism.
Imperialism. We get the celebrities out, right? We get the guest ring announcer Alex Trebek. We get the timekeeper Marla Maples, and then Regis Philbin. Alex Trebek announces world champ Sergeant Slaughter first, which is that only happens if it's a Hogan match, right? The champion gets brought out first. Did you guys see that that Hulk Hogan sign that some fan made on some old school printer? Did you notice that?
Oh, with it had the ream paper?
Yeah, it had the ream paper.
Yeah.
All I could think about was like, that took 30 hours.
Yeah. The dot matrix printer.
Yes.
I was gonna say with 90s speed technology.
God. Like they really
it took the entire cartridge too, man, which cost like $50 or $100 back then. So they were committed. And you know what? They printed it at work. They printed it at work.
Yeah. With those printers that have zero stealth too. Like just remember how like it would sound like it was dying.
Yep.
R.I.P. your headphones, everyone.
Boy, we cover everything on this show.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hogan,
feels like you're back in the 90s, baby.
Hogan begins by chasing Slaughter and Adnan around the ring. I could not help but notice during this time that they were running around, Hogan and Slaughter's shiny craniums during this match. Like I was like, man, this is probably one of the most bald-headed ass matches in WrestleMania history.
And that's just this match. There's a lot of other balding folk.
Right.
It's like it's not like the good ball where you're like completely bald. It's like they're hanging onto their strap like Costanza style.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've either got the Jake the Snake, which it's like the receding hairline.
Yeah.
Or it's just that dome where it's almost the Frasier look, where it's like very bald, but it's like a lot going on down here.
Yeah, you would think at this point McMahon's like, boy, I gotta get some younger blood in here. Right.
When I start losing my hair, I'm just gonna shave it. Just own it.
Me too.
Go Jason
What are you
Statham,
doing, man?
you know?
Hold on to the sides.
Yeah.
At that point, you own it. You get ahead of it.
So I think the first thing that I loved about this match was when Hogan shoulder blocked Slaughter, and Slaughter's sell job was so good when he just kind of backflips and his like whole legs land on the rings, like he's like upside down and his legs are like up against the ring ropes. At one point, Slaughter hits Hogan with a chair on the outside. The ref totally sees this, but still doesn't DQ Slaughter. So I guess at this point, it's one of those things where the ref has decided, like, this is a no DQ match. It never really gets stated, but there's just so much rule breaking going on in this match on both sides of the coin, because there's all of the people out there that still say to this day that Hogan was like one of the biggest heels in WWE, and this match is one of those things that they would use as evidence of that, because he broke all kinds of rules during this match, just like, you know, Slaughter did. He was no different, right?
What if that's the beauty of it? He's been a heel all along, and the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he doesn't exist. Like
in wrestling, I feel like it's notorious, especially at least in the Fed.
Yeah,
you get a lot of faces that are like whiny, and they cheat when it's convenient, and like you're just like, are you really a face? And then you get heels that are like justifiably angry and like making valid points. Like you get somebody like Shane McMahon, who is like a billionaire and arguably shouldn't be taking the place of a wrestler and is old. And then you get someone like Kevin Owens, who is like, hey, you shouldn't be doing this. You're taking the place of anyone else but you. And then they're like, yeah, we're going to go with Kevin as the heel and Shane as the face. I mean,
you cover that spectrum so perfectly, too, because it's people that embody, like, the best and the true worst on that. It's like, you love Kevin Owens, but you're like, yeah, fuck Shane.
I loved everything about heel Slaughter. I loved it when he was choking Hogan with the electric cables.
I love the boots.
Oh, the boots are awesome. You talk about with a little
pointy,
heel,
curly,
the Iron Sheik heel, the Iron Sheik boots. Absolutely. Later, Slaughter, he thinks he's won with a Boston Crab at one point, but the ref was just breaking the hold when Hogan grabbed the ropes. So there's a little psychology there when Slaughter thinks he's won the whole thing. Now, at one point, again, back to the heel point, at one point, Sergeant Slaughter should have won this match, right? Because he had Hogan down for like a 20 count, right? I mean, legitimately. I mean, I don't know whether realistically General Adnan was secretly Hogan's manager, because, I mean, he sat on the ring apron for like 30 seconds, keeping Slaughter from getting the win.
You know what they call that, Jeremiah? They call that plot armor. And it's a big old pile of bullshit.
Hogan has the most plot armor of almost any wrestler.
He does, man. And I think that's why you get such a diva out of it, is it's someone who hasn't entirely earned everything, and then they think they deserve it all. Like, it's, you know, and I loved him. I say to someone who loved him as a kid, and then as an adult, you're like, fuck this noise.
Same. Huge fan of Hogan.
I think everyone loved Hogan as a kid, and as we got older and learned about his backstage politics and all that,
it was like
you realize he's
the character isn't even his. Like, I swear to God, I thought I was being gaslit when we watched that old footage with Billy Graham, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Right.
So Slaughter eventually hits Hogan with a steel chair shot right to the head. He only gets a 2 count at this point. Even like I said, even though this is not a no DQ match, the ref, again, he keeps it going. Hogan from here on out has blood pouring down his face, right? Slaughter, he covers Hogan while also draping the Iraqi flag on top of him. Another classic like heel move by Slaughter there. And of course, this kick out where, you know, Slaughter attempts to pin Hogan with the Iraqi flag, rather. This, of course, prompts Hogan to Hulk out. You know, we got to get the Hulk out moment during every pay-per-view. So after he hulks out, he rips the Iraqi flag to pieces. He does the Hogan leg drop shortly thereafter, and he pins Slaughter to win the WWF Championship. I did love the last-minute kick-out attempt from Slaughter to catch. He went into business for himself, trying to make himself look strong.
Yeah,
but
that carny shit, baby.
Yep. And of course, as we've heard from the Something to Wrestle With podcast, at the end of the pay-per-views, there's that mandate that Hogan must pose to close the show. That's exactly what he did. Hogan must pose. Now, again.
What is he, a Street Fighter character?
Is Hogan wiping his face with the American flag a heel move, or is he so patriotic that it makes him super face? Like, what's going on here? Like, are you a heel for defacing the flag, or are you a face?
No, he's
crimson American blood.
He is lucky. America is lucky that Hulk Hogan is shedding his blood on our flag.
Okay.
It's like the Shroud of Turin for Americana in the early 90s.
Yeah, seriously.
Hulk's face, his bronzer
Bring me
appeared
the blood of Hogan.
Yeah.
His fake tan appeared upon the image of the flag.
Oh my God. I am a real American.
So,
weep not for me, but for yourself, brother. Happy Lent, everybody. Happy Lent.
So, it goes off the air. Hogan's got the title. Hogan posed. Overall, what did you guys think?
The high, I would say about a B plus.
I think you shave it down to the matches that we specifically touched heavily on, like the better match, look, trim the fat on this one, and it would have been great.
Yeah, definitely the highlight was Warrior and Macho Man, and then I noticed we kind of we cover the main event, but we kind of glossed over it compared to how long we spent on Macho Man and Warrior.
What you got to talk about Hogan versus Slaughter, man? Talk about it. We got more stuff to mention?
I got nothing to mention.
You mean the actual match itself? Is that
I watched that and I was like, meh.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, you're saying you felt like it was something you glossed over.
It's okay, they did a blade job. Oh. Cool, whoopee, whatever.
I thought you were
Hogan.
I thought you were saying we needed to talk more about that match.
No, I got nothing.
Sounds like no. Actually, I think we
should.
I
mean, the less time we can spend on that match would be the better.
Yeah.
So you didn't So you weren't really a fan of the match then, song.
No, I wasn't, and I appreciate how hard Sergeant Slaughter worked the match, but it was. They had a formula. They used that formula for the match. And,
right.
We got the ending.
Yeah, I kind of think that Sergeant Slaughter was the part of it that I really love watching. I mean, that really great heel work of his. I agree.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's still some great matches. Like the retirement match with Savage and Warrior was pretty fantastic. Definitely. The blindfold match was amazing. I think to me that was the perfect gimmick for the episode.
Yeah. The psychology in that blindfold match was unmatched by anything else that I've seen.
There you go.
I honestly think the Hulk Slaughter thing would have been cooler if Slaughter won. It never would have happened. But it never would have happened.
That would have been crazy.
I think we're all forgetting match of the night, which is the Rockers versus Haku and the Barbarian.
Well, one thing
with the
Nasty
Boys.
Well, the thing with that tag match, though, at least they before they did the pre-interview, they were, we're the tag team specialists, and then when they actually went out and wrestled, they kind of had tag team maneuvers and things like that. So at least they kind of, they stuck with the script and with what. So that was pretty cool. Yeah. So it's not a bad match. I know you were being sarcastic, but I did enjoy that tag match.
Yeah.
I did. I enjoyed it. I'm just being a jackass.
So something I did not know until I did a little research was that Tugboat Taylor was actually once considered for the role of the Iraqi nemesis, according to Sportskeeda.
Oh, what?
He was Sheik Tugboat, right? He was gonna be Sheik Tugboat.
Right, exactly.
Toot toot.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought that was crazy. I wonder how that would have turned out in an alternative.
That would have been way more comical and way less cool.
So since I do want to ask you guys a question before we go off the air, if you were to be in charge of doing a similar storyline today as the Hogan versus Slaughter thing, who would the antagonist and the protagonist be, and what would the storyline be?
Sorry, I didn't catch the antagonist for who? Sorry, who was
He
that?
said, who would it be if we were
just like the Iraqi war thing, Hogan versus Slaughter? If we were to do that today, who's that going to be? What's it look like? Is it going to be, you know what I'm saying? Like if that was going to happen today,
so
of course that's tough because we don't have a war going on.
We also, and we're engaged in different like military, like there's so much going on there.
We've currently been at war for 17 years.
Yeah, exactly. That's also too, it's like, if anything, I think it's either the maskers and the anti-maskers, or the.
Oh, that would be a good one.
That would be the closest.
That would be like trivial, but like not well. Oh, then again, 500 million or 500,000 people did die. So maybe could COVID be now? I don't know. Yeah, like everything is such a serious topic now that like
you have to walk on that.
Everything is so polarized that I don't know if you could pick a real world topic
and not seriously make somebody
and at the same time, I don't know if picking a non-real world topic
would work.
Maybe
the same.
Maybe politics itself, when they're just kind of picking on the people. I mean, nowadays everyone's so psycho.
Maybe union, anti-union. Like do a story where like Sami Zayn is trying to unionize the federation, and he's got like a stable of dudes who's his like union, and it's against I don't know. I wouldn't say
corporate anti-corporate,
but corporate
anti-corporate. Yeah.
Well, that's the way to do it now.
You've got a lot of room for small business tweeners in there too, like, and like.
I like that. That was good.
That kind
small
of also
business tweeners
reeks of like this Stone Cold stuff,
Yeah. Because that seems to be the safest thing that's political without being totally political.
I think things are a lot more polarized now, which is a reflection of where we're at, and so I think it's harder to. I mean, they got heat for it back then. Then again, maybe not. That we're so our news cycle is so move on. It's like like we move on to the next thing so quickly that maybe it could be.
Well, there's also less gimmicks nowadays too. Yeah. There's a lot less people doing characters and themes. I'm not saying they're not. There's still plenty in different levels, but WWE has really evolved into the athlete kind of thing for the most part. I feel like there's certain people like the Fiend or who else is somebody else that has like a character.
I mean,
Seth Rollins currently playing a character.
Yeah, even and it took a while to get there.
Yeah, he's like the Messiah now, so maybe they can do like a religion versus anti-religion type thing where you have
cult versus not cult shit.
Where you have Jesus, Seth Rollins taking on I
loved watching him and KO
don't
go at
believe.
it.
Yeah.
I really wish that they really need to do a longer feud with Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. It would be
that Mania
it was so
match
good.
was awesome. Yeah.
Oh, it was so good.
Did Seth kind of get away from the Messiah thing though? His most recent comeback.
Well, he came back and he's still acting like he's some kind of a visionary. Like he was trying to get I think he was trying to get some more followers from Antonio Cesaro and Nakamura and stuff like that.
Right.
But he's now doing that whole gimmick where he doesn't wear a shirt under his blazer.
Yeah, and he's got really crazy ass suits now too.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
Like John Cena level?
Oh, dude, they're beyond Cena level suits, man. You should check out some of the suits that Seth Rollins wearing now.
Yeah, he's.
Maybe we'll post a picture of one.
Speaking of Cena, real quick,
Yeah.
I feel like we're also on the upswing of the Cena Hollywood trajectory with Doom Patrol. I think that's going to be his. You know how we've been talking about how he's doing The Rock, like the
you mean Suicide Squad, right?
Right.
Yeah. What did I say? Did I say something else?
You said Doom Patrol.
Oh, I said Doom Patrol. I did.
What we were
No,
talking
Suicide
about
Squad.
earlier.
Yeah, right. No, but Suicide Squad, I think it's going to be his upswing on that towards it, where he's going to start becoming kind of he's coming for you, Rock.
Yeah, he's not even showing up on WWE TV lately. Anyway, we'll see if he's around for Mania, but I doubt it. I don't think he's going to show up at all. But yeah, guys, one more time, I want to thank Nick for reaching out to us and recommending that we have a watch of WrestleMania 7 and review it. We've had a fun time doing it, so we appreciate the recommendation. We welcome all of our fans and all of our listeners to reach out to us, ask us questions, ask for a certain show to be made. Right now, hey, we might do it. So
yeah,
hit us up. We love hearing from you. Everybody, y'all have a great night. Until next time.
Peace.
As always, thank you so much for listening. Now, we want to hear from you. You can hit us up at pinthechamppodcast@gmail.com. We're also on Twitter and Instagram at pinthechamp123, and our Google Voice number is 804-446-1139. We can't wait to hear from you.